Welcome back to the House of Mario. Without further ado, the 8-bit big band, hit it! G'day everybody, I'm Drew Agnew and this is the House of Mario Encore. The backup podcast to the House of Mario. And this month, we are celebrating the Pokemon's 25th year anniversary. And here to talk all about that is a very special guest. It's Wacko Jacko. You'll be able to find him over on twitch.tv / Wacko Jacko, I believe.
Underscore at the end.
Underscore at the end. Don't miss the underscore, ladies and gentlemen, for goodness sakes. It is pretty important. Otherwise, you'll get some other Wacko Jacko, maybe.
Yeah, don't even bother. They're just bots, I'm pretty sure.
Is that why it's there? Could you not get Wacko Jacko? Yeah.
No.
That's always a pain, yeah. Yeah. So, man, really excited to have you on. As soon as I was thinking about doing this sort of, Pokemon special month, you're one of the first people that came to mind. We've had great conversations in the past about Pokemon. You've been on the House of Mario before.
Yes.
And I'm looking forward to getting into it.
I'm very flattered that you wanted to talk to me, so I'm looking forward to this.
Yeah, excellent. So, if anybody follows you on Twitter or whatever, they'll know straight away you are a very passionate shiny hunter. I think like every day I turn on Twitter, it's always got like, oh, this took 2,000 eggs. Yeah. Like,
oh, mate, you have no idea. Like, sometimes I believe it's unreal that I do get one every day. And it's just kind of like...
Every day?
How? Well, not really. I mean, sometimes, like, if it's every day, it's a Pokemon that's under 300 eggs. Because usually, it takes about 3 hours to do 300 eggs, roughly, give or take. And, yeah, the amount of times I've gotten shinies under 300 eggs, or even 100 eggs, is just great. But, yeah, that's not always the case. Shiny hunting can take forever.
It either happens straight away, or maybe you'd be doing it forever.
Yes, don't remind me. I've got a current hunt for Pheromosa in the Dynamax Adventure Dance, and it's been at least nearly 150 raids, and that thing won't be the nice shiny that it is. So.
That sucks. Anyway. Oh well,
yeah,
that's the game you're playing.
That's it. It's a gamble.
Yeah. So I guess just to help people sort of figure out, your Pokemon tastes and all of that. Like, for a start, how old are you, and what were your first games you started playing Pokemon?
So I'm 28, so 1992 represent. My first games, because my mum and dad bought both of them, because me and my sister both had a DS, and so the first games we had were Diamond and Pearl. And then I remember also when I was after school work, was working at a grocery store. Working at Foodland, good old Foodland. Miss you, Foodland. Wish you were over here in Victoria, but anyway. So I saved up to buy Pokemon Platinum, which, was a great investment. And, I remember playing Diamond, Pearl, Platinum back in those days on the DSs. And, it was... I guess ever since those days, I've always had that favoritism towards Gen 4 because that was my first game.
Yeah.
And then, for some weird reason, I always went to the grass type. So Turtwig, obviously, was my first Pokemon.
Yeah.
And... yeah, it was so much fun those days. Miss those days of the small handhelds, but yeah.
It is weird going back though. Like I've got my DS back there with a copy of Pokemon Platinum in it, and it was actually a copy that I got secondhand, so it's my second copy of Platinum. Because I don't like these days. I don't like resetting my Pokemon games, and especially one that's so old. I don't want to erase that history now. So I was thinking about going back and plugging in that copy and playing through it again, but I thought I'll leave the Sinnoh adventure for most likely at the end of this year because it's probably going to happen. But holding a DSi now, it feels so small. It feels ridiculously small.
Yeah, it's compared to a Switch now as well. But
the Switch is massive.
How's it compared to a Lite though? Because the Lite's a bit smaller, isn't it? Again.
Yeah, the Lite's still very big compared to a DS.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is though, because with Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, I remember because I had also the new 3DS XL, and that thing felt huge.
Yeah. I guess they were. Cool, they were compared to it. Yeah. So
mine got stolen. So we were.
Where'd it get stolen? At school?
On a train.
Oh, train, huh?
Yeah. But anyway, whatever. It's fine, I guess. Enjoy your DS, that person who stole it.
Did you have any good Pokemon on there? Was it worth it for him?
Probably not.
enjoy my level 14
You're talking about
Chimchar.
level 1 Pip. Actually, no, I don't know what I had on that game. It would have been whatchamacallit from Gen 7, the third evolution, grass evolution.
Skeptile.
No. Gen 7 starter. I forget the name.
Oh, Gen 7.
Yeah, the
Decidueye.
ghost bird thing.
Decidueye.
That one. That's the one.
Yeah.
I had the Decidueye. So that's all I remember.
The right choice.
Yes, thank you. And shout out to all those other grass fans that always chose starters grass in their game. So yeah. That's the only way.
I sort of like fluctuate a little bit, but I guess going back to like, Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum, like your first Pokemon games. You were born in '92, so you actually got into Pokemon a little bit later than a lot of people. Like,
it's kind of funny. Yeah, go on.
Oh, sorry, it wasn't so much of a childhood thing for you. It was more like a teenager thing. Is that how that math works out?
Sort of, yeah, kind of yes and no. So my first gaming console was a Super Nintendo.
Yep.
That was a blessed console. But then when I was about 8 or 9 years old, my mum and dad got me a PS2 for Christmas. So I was on Sony for quite a while. And then I didn't get the DS until, when was that? 2006, 7, maybe? And so it wasn't until then I was introduced to handheld. Like, I'd heard about the DSs. I heard about the Game Boys. I missed out on the GameCube because I hearing about the GameCube games back then. They were really good. But yeah, I never got to experience it. So I guess it was better late than never, to be honest. But yeah, it was... It was kind of funny because, like, even growing up, I remember watching Pokemon, the movies. You used to go to the library, hire the video, and watch it in the VHS system. And even, like, watching him when you wake up in the morning before you go to school. I remember watching on Toaster TV or whatever. And you used to watch the 30 minutes episodes in the morning before school and all that. So, like, I've watched, I consume Pokemon, but not in the video game way. So,
fair enough, because I got into the anime and like all that stuff like years before I got into the video games as well. So I don't think that's such a weird thing, because I didn't actually know there were games until Ruby and Sapphire was getting advertised to come out. I remember like some of my friends were like, "Hey Drew, you're going to get the new Pokemon games?" And I just said, I said to them, I'm like, "Yeah," like trying to act cool, like, "Yeah, I know what you're talking about."
Yeah, of course, yeah,
of course I am. And I had to like look into them. I'm like, "Oh, no, they're actual games," because I loved the like the cards. I loved the anime, especially.
Yes.
I had these plush dolls. I had books about all the Pokemon and that, but yeah, I'd never played the games. I only had I was sort of like into Digimon and like the Tamagotchis at the time, so they weren't quite as expensive as like a full Game Boy and a game to go along with it. Yeah, so
I do remember those days of the Digimons as well. Like, that was another thing too at school. Everyone had those little Digimons and the Yu-Gi-Oh links. I don't know if you remember them.
No, I don't remember the Yu-Gi-Oh ones, no.
There was a little one where you connect to each other. It's like the Digimon ones. And anyway, that was the thing though, because no one brought the Pokemon stuff. I remember there was probably 1 or 2 kids that brought cards, but no one was interested in the cards because, you've got a little technology item there. They're more interested in the sort of the technology things compared to the cards at that time. So
yeah,
but yeah. Now that I'm thinking about it, actually, when I was a kid growing up, not many people I knew actually liked Pokemon because they're like, it's a Nintendo. Oh, you have to be a kid to like Pokemon. I'm like, okay, yeah, righto.
Yeah, okay, because I guess you were that like a couple of years older than me. I was born '94, so
you're younger than me. Oh,
yeah.
Yes. Flash.
You're like, I thought you were 40.
Maybe 38. No.
Old man Drew coming in. No,
you don't look that old.
I'm the young buck around here, mate.
Yeah. Yep. I'm the mature guy. Yeah, yes,
you're the mature guy.
Yes.
Yeah. So I was in the age, I guess, where I was a kid. So if anyone's saying that's a kid thing, it's like, yeah, well,
you were a kid once.
I'm 10 years old. Give me a break, mate. I want to play my Pokemon. Leave me alone.
Yes, exactly.
But sort of like going into high school, I remember in year 8 when I was in year 8 when I wasn't actually. It was year 7 when Diamond and Pearl came out, and I remember thinking to myself like, it's time to like, grow up a little bit, even though you're still 12. Like, come on, going on 13.
Does anyone actually grow up? I think you stay the same all the way.
Yeah. There was like, this. I think I was in Target and I had a copy of Pearl. I was like, waiting for Mum to do a thing so we can go and check it out and go home.
Yep.
And there was the guy who was like considered a cool dude. He's like, hey Drew, how you going? I'm like, oh shit. So I like stuffed it behind like something on the rack. I'm like whatever. Then I remember looking at
you were
like
that kid, eh? You were that kid, were you?
yeah. I'm like Then we like set our ways. I went back and got it, and then went and bought it. And like thinking about that stuff now is just so ridiculous.
Exactly. But anyway, as a kid you don't know until after you realize, oh, I should have been fine. It was just me doing my thing. I don't care what he thought I was doing.
Yeah, especially like a couple of years later, everybody comes to that realization, like, you know what? Pokemon is cool, Digimon cool, like whatever you're into as a kid, like you sort of like get that nostalgia from 2 years ago, and you just sort of get over it. Like we had a big group of us, and we're all playing Wii and Smash Bros and Pokemon, and couldn't give a shit what people think. I know like a lot of people don't get that realization until a lot later in life as well. So I'm glad that I didn't go all the way through high school and even into adulthood being like, oh no, I've got to be a man. I've got to go and got to go hunting with a bow and arrow. I can't be sitting playing more.
got to supply, meat supply.
Yeah. So yeah.
Sorts of blitz.
If you had to pick one, or I'll make it a top 3 if that makes it easier.
It does.
What are some of your favorite Pokemon?
Okay, well, I've already said one, Torterra. Not Torterra, Turtwig. Basically because it evolves into Torterra. So I'm going to count that as 1.
Yep.
Even though I said 2. And then Joltik, because that thing is so heckin' cute.
Nice, man. Yeah.
And I don't know what third would be. This is the problem with this question because
it's a loaded question.
8 Pokemon, supposedly, I think, if I remember correctly. 898. Someone will be like, oh, that guy was wrong. It's actually 897. I don't know. Joltik, Torterra, Turtwig, and maybe, probably Luxray, actually.
Oh, yeah.
It's hard because most of them are Gen 4, like, obviously, Joltik, obviously not, but Tortwig, Torterra, it's either Staraptor or Luxray.
Yeah.
I think it's hard because there's so many good ones in Gen 4, and you can't just, like, narrow them down. Yeah. All right. Turtwig. Turtwig. Staraptor. Luxray. Oh, Joltik, sorry. Buzz off Luxray. You can be Joltik because you're electric as well. So,
you can do
Turtwig, Joltik, and Staraptor. Okay, there we go. Done. Solid. Solved. That's it.
A hard question. You could do.
It is so hard. Like, what's your top 3? Can you narrow down 3?
I can, because I actually spent like an hour or so the other day because I'm doing an episode where I'm actually going through my top 25 favorite Pokemon.
Sure.
So I'm not gonna give them away here.
Yes, for that episode. Yep, good idea.
But I'll give you a couple. Heracross is one of my favorite Pokemon. Absolutely love Heracross. Just a really unique typing. He's strong. His design's cool. His Mega Evolution is really bad.
The shiny of it's good though.
The shiny's pretty cool, just like the deep purple. This looks really nice. And what's another one? This one's a new one, but Applin. Absolutely really love Applin. Because when the leaks happened for Sword and Shield, you look at it, it's like, what the hell? There's an apple as a new Pokemon in this? But I still remember running into it. I'm like, hey, look, there's that apple. And like when the camera like swings around and you can see the back of it, and you see that Applin is actually like a little caterpillar dragon thing that's just hiding in this apple. Then seeing its evolutions and like I think it's just a really creative Pokemon.
It is.
I think especially in Gen 5, they get a rap just for being like, oh, this is the rubbish designs or whatever. But I think majority of them are like really creative in what they do.
You just hit something there for me as well, because like you talked about, because Gen 5 for me, because after Pokemon Diamond I got the Gen 5 games. And I remember playing that as a kid, and I'm thinking, what are these designs? There's literally an ice cream. There's literally a rubbish bag. There's literally a thing that's holding a steel beam, and that's a Pokemon apparently, like Conqueror and all that. Obviously. Yeah. But like since I'm seeing them on Sword Shield, because most of the Gen 5 Pokemon are on Sword Shield, I've kind of come around to them as well, and their shiny forms of them have kind of helped me like them a bit more. Yeah,
and so, I find that helps a lot. Like I remember looking at like Conqueror, and I'm just like, I hate this thing. But sort of but like when you actually play with them, you do sort of grow like a bit of a fondness towards them.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Sort of warm up on you, but there's two designs in particular from Gen 5 that I still haven't warmed to, and that's Squawk and Throw, which are the two karate men. And they're basically, counters to in the Kanto region with Hitmonlee and Hitmonchan. They're meant to be that, but they are awful. I hate them. I hate them with all my being.
Do you know what their shinies look like?
I can't. I try to erase them from my mind.
Yeah. Well, the Sword goes like a slightly darker bluish purple, and the other one, Throw, goes from a red to I can't remember. I think it's a blue. But yeah, like I share the same thing. Like, what are they meant to be? They're just dudes in karate outfits. They're not even Pokemon.
Yeah, no. There's something. They're literally Muppets in a karate outfit.
Yeah. There you go. Muppets on steroids in a karate outfit.
Yeah, but like stuff like Vanillite and stuff, I really like them. I don't think.
Yeah, originally I was the same, but like I like them now because they kind of make sense. And like when the games first came out, I remember seeing about all the criticism that everyone had towards Gen 5. Like, well, these designs are trash. And then I think, like you said, you have to, once you have them in as your own Pokemon, you do grow onto them. So, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I also don't like, in Gen 5, this is the other Pokemon that I really don't like. Tepig's evolution. I'm trying. I forgot his forgotten his name. Emboar. Yeah.
He sounds like this. He literally he's got this weird arm animation, and it's how is that a fighting type?
Yeah, because sort of where it came from me, like Generation 3 was my first games. I really love Blaziken, and moving to the next generation with Infernape, another firefighting type, is like, you know what? It's pretty much a clone of Blaziken, but I do
another one.
I do like Infernape. Then another generation with a follow-up firefighting type. I'm
That's
like,
a pig.
I was sort of over it by then.
Yeah, it's okay, guys. We don't need another firefighting. But then they give us whatchamacallit from Gen 7, and it's fire dark.
Yeah. Incineroar.
Sorry, I was like doing it. I love doing it from. That's how it sounds on Smash. It's just.
Yeah.
Incineroar. It's like, okay, calm down, bro. Just chill.
He's a wrestler. He's got to be amped up, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just weird that he's dark and not fighting. I think they just use that to disguise that. Obviously, he looks like a fighter, but yeah.
I mean, he literally is a fighter, but.
Yeah, But no, he's dark, but no, he's a fighter. He's a dark fighter.
So I think this is pretty obvious just from what we've talked about so far, but your favorite region in the Pokemon universe, the place you'd want to go and live if you had to go and live somewhere, where would you go?
That's Sinnoh.
Region.
Yeah. It's kind of funny though, because like if you think about the games that we've had since Sinnoh, like the town, the map layouts, like all the region layouts, they've all slightly gotten more dense because of the graphics and like everything's gotten better. So the cities look better, the overworld looks better, but like Sinnoh was nice. Sinnoh was calm. Or it felt calm. It felt easy to navigate around.
Yep.
Unless you got to Flame and Giratina well, then it's like good luck. But can I say Sinnoh but minus Giratina's place? Because I
guess. I mean, that's technically a different dimension somewhere else, so it's not actually at Sinnoh, you know?
Yeah, so Sinnoh. And like the beach the battle restaurant, I think it's called the battle restaurant, down Route 223, I think it is.
It's been a long time, I cannot remember.
It is. I just remember the beach area as well, because like there was a beach area where you used to go, you can fish for Gyarados, you could fish for, I think, Carvana as well as Remoraid or Octillery. Because I remember when you go to the battle restaurant, you always do a double battle.
Yep.
And there's always a couple there that had a Remoraid and an Octillery together. So I'm like, when I remember seeing Octillery, I'm like, oh, I want to go find that. And then, obviously you can find it down by the beach, which is near the restaurant. So yeah.
Yeah, that's always cool how they introduce like that in the Pokemon games where you say, oh, that looks cool, and you know that just the way those games are designed, that they are somewhere near that trainer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I enjoyed that. And what else do I like? I guess just like I said, the simplicity of it. I don't know. I guess because of the Gen 4 bias that I have, it's just why would I go anywhere else?
No, it's exactly the same with me. Like I said, Gen 3 was my first games, and I just think about Hoenn so fondly as well. And it's one of those things where you can sort of never overpower nostalgia, and that's why a lot of people love Generation 1. That's why a lot of people love Generation 2, and as Pokemon's not going away anytime soon, I'm sure there's people that feel that way about Kalos and Unova and all that as well.
Galar.
Yeah, the Galar region, which is I really like the Galar region.
I do too. I mean, people care about the trees so much. They're just trees. They're just there. You don't have to interact them. You just look at them and just like, oh yeah, there's a tree there. Yeah, that's cool. And then it just who cares what they look like? They're just trees. Leave them alone. Hashtag free the trees. No.
Free the trees. I'm sure that's a hashtag somewhere for maybe probably a topic that actually matters. Some environmental topic somewhere.
Team Trees have got something like that probably.
Yeah. So you're a big shiny hunter. We sort of talked about that at the start of the episode. Yeah. When did you get into shiny hunting? Did you get into shiny hunting with the Dex Nav all the way back in Gen 4, or was it something a bit more recent?
Very recent. So I blame Pokemon Let's Go for that. Seeing how easy it was, like you just catch 31 for best odds in a row, and that's it essentially. So, and then also Pokemon Go was also another thing which made me do it more, because obviously with Pokemon Go, you're out there walking around, tapping and checking everything. So, those two games essentially got me into it. And I thought, well, since I'm at it, I might as well shiny hunt in the new game. And it's shiny hunting in a full game for the first time, because obviously people have shiny hunted in Gen 7, 6, 5, and so on. And obviously, back in those games, they're a lot hard. Well, some of them were a lot harder, like 1 in 8,000 chance without charm and all that. But obviously, now playing in this game, where they've actually made it easier since Gen 5 or 6, whatever it was, it does make it a more enjoyable. So yeah, I do like the shiny hunting in this new game. I like specifically Masuda method, because why would you bother running around encountering everything when you can just put a Japanese Ditto in the nursery with your, say, for example, Skull Bunny or whatever, and just, test your luck, and you never know. That's the one thing I like about shiny hunting. Like, it's something that you probably could easily give up on, but it's something that you want to drive for, and you just, something in your brain tells you to keep going. It'll come, keep going, just keep going. Oh, look, it's 12 o'clock at night, but just keep going. You might be the next egg. But shiny hunting is just full of mysteries. Like, you never know when you're going to encounter one. You never know when it's going to happen. And so, yeah, it's kind of funny, because I remember when my mum came over recently, she came and watched me play Pokemon. And the first thing she said to me was, "Oh, are you winning?" I'm like, "Oh my gosh, how do I explain this?"
Mum, you never win. You never win.
You never win.
You always lose.
I had to explain to her, I'm like, "Okay, Mum, I'm shiny hunting in this game. There's multiple ways you can play this game. I'm playing the shiny hunting way of this game." And I just like, "Oh, what's that?" I'm like, "Well, see this Pokemon here? This Pokemon normally looks like this. But when you get the shiny form, it looks like this." And she's like, "Oh, wow, that looks cool." I'm like, "Yeah, it's not easy to do. Sometimes it takes for a day, 3 days, and as well as maybe an hour, depending on how lucky you are." But she's like, "Oh, okay, that's cool. Well, you do that and you do what you find you enjoy." So I'm like, "Okay, thanks, Mum." And I'll just keep playing.
She just turns around. Oh, jeez.
What have I done? What is this? This is not my son, is it?
What's he turned into? What have I done?
I bred a monster. Actually, no.
It is definitely addictive, though.
Oh yeah.
Because around when Sword and Shield came out, I had like a list of like my favorite Pokemon. I definitely wanted shiny, and one of them on my list was Litwick. And I don't know how long it took to get Litwick, but it took such a long time. I think I was up at like 1 o'clock in the morning just doing it, and there it was. Finally, the egg cracked. Bang! Shiny Litwick. The shine came out, and instead of like yes, those reactions, yes, shiny Pokemon. Yeah. Oh my god! All it was for me was, well, thank fuck for that. That's all it was.
Can I tell you one of my just examples when I actually was shiny? So Sizzlipede. Oh my gosh, Sizzlipede. All right. So I got Sizzlipede after 5,200 something encounters. So to get Sizzlipede in Route 4 or 5, I think it is, Route 4 it is, it's a 1% spawn chance, right? So you have to get a Pokemon that has Flash Fire, which means it boosts the chance of it spawning from 1% to 50%. And it's also not an overworld spawn, it's one that rustles in the grass.
Yeah.
And so I remember when I got to like 4,000 and something encounters, I'm like, stuff it, I'm just going to get the Shiny Charm. And then after 1,200 more encounters, I was up at 2 o'clock at night in my bed. And I remember when I saw it, I was like almost borderline crying because I'm like, oh, thank goodness. And it's just like, it's over. But like, it was the last bug I wanted. Like before the expansion passes came out, it was the last bug I needed for my shiny living bug deck. So, yeah, it was joy, and it was overwhelming, and yeah, it just led to me almost crying because like, thank gosh.
Thank God it's there.
Yeah. It was terrible too because it could have been a Zigzagoon. I almost ran to the Zigzagoon. There's a clip of it on Twitter if you look on it. But yeah, that was so long, that hunt. But one that I'll never forget because obviously how long it took, and yeah, nightmare.
Yeah, my favorite was Chimchar. Chimchar, who evolves into Lantern, and I was just like,
oh yes,
and I was like, you know, I'm gonna hatch a few eggs. I'm gonna get a timid nature, so then I can put that one back into the daycare, give it an Everstone, so then they're all timid.
Oh, yes.
Because that's the nature I want. I don't want to have to use a mint. You know, just save a mint. You know,
yeah,
pretty cool, whatever.
But better points.
I think like 5 eggs in, I got it. I'm like, what?
Ooh.
So, oh, okay. It just comes out. It's got the wrong nature, like the wrong IVs. I'm like, I guess it's cool. I don't have to spend a week doing this, but it's a bit too early.
Yeah, true.
I really wasn't expecting it.
There's no suffering here. Yeah, my best is 4 eggs.
4,
so
yeah.
I got you
Yeah,
there.
so when I say 5, I actually got no idea.
Yeah.
It might have been. It was just really quick. It was like
quick, yeah.
First half an hour, whatever, something like that.
Okay.
So I got no idea,
like
but very quick. Yeah, it felt like it might as well be 1.
Yeah, because it can feel like that if you don't have a flame body Pokemon, where it might take a bit longer than usual. But yeah, if you have a flame body Pokemon at the front, then you're fine. But yeah.
So you feel like you got into the shiny hunting portion of the game because of sort of the accessibility and Let's Go? Is that what brought you into it mainly?
Yeah, and what I've done like in the past was I'd watch streamers as well just to see like how difficult or how long or how enduring it would be. But I thought, how hard is it really to be using the left analog stick and pressing a few buttons on the right thumb just to hunt for shinies? So I'm like, if anyone can do that, I can do that. Because like anyone can do shiny hunting. It's just a matter of you have to have the patience, you have to have the willingness, and you have to have the, I was gonna say audacity, but that's the wrong word. You have to be really prepared to, prepare yourself for what you're in for. Because shiny hunting is nothing that's always guaranteed. Sure, you'll get the shiny eventually, but you just don't know when. So
yeah, you've got to be able to put up with monotony pretty well.
So that's why in Let's Go, when you only had to catch 31 in a row, it was like, oh, this is so easy. The hardest part was obviously throwing the damn thing because that throwing mechanic is so annoying.
Yeah, because I wasn't streaming, so I just played it in handheld mode where it's a lot easier to throw.
Yeah. Click. Yeah.
Yeah. So I quite like those controls actually. I wish you could just do that on the TV as well. Like there's no reason they couldn't have. But
yeah. So Let's Go was my first shiny experience, and I had a thing going on my stream where for some reason I'd always get the random shiny Chansey pop up. Yeah. And every time it happened, I'm like, no, please stop. And so it came to a point where I start nicknaming every shiny Chansey a Karen because
wow.
Like, Karen always pops up out of nowhere when you least expect it, but you don't want it to be there. So, there's another Karen on screen. Oh gosh, well, off you go, Karen. Bye.
Bye, Karen. Don't complain too much, please.
Well, that's the thing though, because like I look back at it and I'm like, I probably should have caught them because then I could have brought them over to home into Sword Shield. But
I was about to say, you should have caught them because shinies are shiny.
That's true. That's true. But anyway, whatever. I was just blessed with so many Karens. But anyway.
Yeah. And I feel with like Let's Go, like, they were fun games to play through, but
They were.
once you get to the end, there was, literally nothing, much like the original Pokemon Red and Blue. So shiny hunting really was the only thing to sort of keep you occupied in those games as well.
Yeah.
And I found myself just shiny hunting a lot as well. And, it made it very fun, I feel.
Yeah, it did. It definitely, because I think the idea of Pokemon Let's Go was to sort of attract the Pokemon Go players.
No, definitely, yeah.
I mean, attracted me, so I was like, "Oh, easy, okay. Don't have to go out walking; just stay home and catch them." But obviously, you're limited to the 151. But it's kind of interesting though with Pokemon Go and Pokemon Let's Go, the fact that we can only get Meltan and Melmetal from those two games, from Go to Let's Go, and the only way you can obtain the shiny one is getting it in Go, transferring it to Pokemon Let's Go, then to Sword Shield, or you have to evolve the Melmetal into Meltan into Melmetal, and then you have to transfer that one to Let's Go, then Sword Shield. But now that they've got the Pokemon Go with Pokemon Home on your phone, it's a lot easier.
Yeah, definitely.
So, yeah, but Let's Go was a fun thing. It was a good idea. But then I remember seeing on the internet like, "Oh, let's go Johto." I'm like, no, you probably don't want that.
Yeah, it's one of those things where they want a Pokemon game on the latest hardware that is really accessible, sort of try and get those Go crowd over. But once we have Let's Go, we don't need any more Let's Goes because only one game has to fill that gap. Because really, if they do another game, like we're in Johto, we've got no items, no abilities, like, we're sort of, back to those really basic mechanics from the original games. I feel like, I've already had my fun with that type of really accessible, sort of simple stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And like, I haven't touched Let's Go in ages. I remember when Sword Shield came out, I was like, oh, I still need to get all the bugs. And so like the only way to get, what's it called? The Venomoth and all that, Venonat, I had to go back to Let's Go to shiny hunt them. So
right, yeah,
I can complete my shiny living bug decks. But yeah, obviously you're very limited in what you can catch in Pokemon Sword Shield. Obviously Venonat and Venomoth aren't in it. So the only way I could get it was Let's Go. And that's one thing I can sort of appreciate. But the fact now is that we have a full game on Switch. We kind of don't need to go back to Let's Go anymore.
Yeah, there's only a few Pokemon that aren't in that now from Kanto at least.
And you're right, because it did fill that void that we had for a while. Like there was no Pokemon game we could play, so Let's Go was our only choice.
Yeah, so. And like I got into, a lot of people get into Pokemon when they are kids. Like they're not non-accessible games in the first place. Yeah. So dumbing that down even more, I don't feel is a super necessary thing.
Yeah.
But,
there was one thing I will quickly say. I just remember when I went back to, because I was streaming the Shiny Hunt for Venonat Venomoth, someone came into my chat and said, you're the one of two people that are only streaming Let's Go. So like no one's streaming anymore. So it was
right,
like, ooh. But yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because I guess all the PokeTubers or, big content creators are like just like onto the latest and greatest doing whatever they're doing. Yeah.
I mean, people are still streaming probably Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon as well, though, because like people finding ways to shiny on there, like they go through the wormholes and all that. Yeah. But I guess now because we've got the Dynamax adventures, we don't really need to go back there.
Yeah, because it's a similar thing, I guess, isn't it? You're going through a series of events to get to the end. And, I quite like that new shiny hunting method as well. Have you been finding yourself streaming that often, or you still doing Masuda method egg hatching?
Yeah, mainly Masuda method egg hatching, but like with the Dynamax adventures, like I said at the start. Oh, actually, we said this off air. So it's 1 in 100 allegedly, and then I say allegedly because it doesn't seem to be the case for me. But, so currently I'm shiny hunting Pheromosa in the Ultra Raid in the Dynamax Adventures Den, and yeah, like I said, I've done over nearly 150 raids. It's been ridiculous. But it's obviously when you catch each one, so you catch all 4, it makes it's like 1 in 25, which is pretty good because like in Pokemon Go, for a legendary raid, I think it was 1 in 32 you can get for a shiny Pokemon in Pokemon Go. So this kind of made it a little bit easier considering it's a mainline game. But Yeah, I'm not getting any luck because Pheromosa is taking its dang time. But it's kind of good though. The only thing is you have unreliable teammates sometimes when you're like,
Oh yeah.
you're like that one Pokemon away from reaching the last one. But then you get like, oh, two people Pokemon's faint, and it's kind of like, oh, the storm is getting stronger. The storm is getting too strong to withstand, and you're like, oh no, please, 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 and yeah.
Are you playing with CPUs or people online?
Currently, because CPU is faster. Like, okay, this is a controversial
Faster.
opinion.
Yeah. Yeah.
Controversial opinion. You can you can turn off battle effects, which means it's just the font, then the damage happens.
Yeah.
And then B, you don't have to wait for your online teammates to select what move they're doing. I can understand that if you're streaming online with friends or you're voice chatting with someone to do it, because you're like, okay, you do this, I'll do that, you do this. That makes so much sense. But you have to wait for the animations and all that. And yes, I've been a bit lucky with just playing with CPU because some of them are quite good. Unless there's one of them that just uses acupressure, and then it's like Pheromosa is getting frustrated and it's gonna nullify all those abilities and stat changes. It's like,
yeah, they're so frustrated CPUs. Like they did get a lot better because you don't have Martin and his Soul Rock and just like the Magikarp because they're just like so dumb. At least the Pokemon are random now, so they can potentially have like better Pokemon and not just rubbish. But I can see why you'll do that. And have you got many shiny Pokemon through that method that weren't Pheromosa or the other three Pokemon?
So my first target I got was Buzzwole because obviously of the bug living dex, you got Buzzwole and Pheromosa, both fighting bugs. So I had to get them. Buzzwole took maybe less than 20 raids in total. But for Pheromosa, I've phased 4 times. So for those who don't know what phase means, it means you get a shiny that isn't your target. So out of all the raids I've done for Pheromosa, I've gotten shiny Marowak, shiny, I think it was an Emolga, shiny, I forget the other ones. Oh, Liepard was the other one as well. And I forget the other one. But yeah. So there is a chance you can also get on the same, like at the end of the results screen, there's a chance you can get double or triple shiny, which is crazy. But at the same time, it's heartbreaking because you can only take one Pokemon with you.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, it's good in the fact that you can get the multiple chances, but at the same time, you can only take one. So choose wisely.
Yeah. I mean, if you get really lucky, I guess that's just not an awful problem to have, but it's...
No, it's not.
Yeah. It's like, oh, do I take this bit of cash or this bit of cash? Oh, no.
I think on Twitter, I've seen only one time I've seen someone have triple shiny on screen.
Wow.
Yeah, only once. I've seen twice, a few times, but only once for 3 times.
Yeah, that'll be
Imagine
ridiculous.
being that guy and making your choice.
So after Pheromosa, do you have any like shiny that you just like you've always wanted, or have you already got like your favorites?
I've got most of my favorites. So if you want to know what I've been done, so when I first got the game, my initial goal was to get all the shiny living bugs possible. So first, second, third evolution Pokemons, all of them. So I've done that. And then I was like, okay, I'm an electrician by trade, so I should go for the electric type.
Yep.
But I didn't do living decks for them. I just wanted to get the ones that I like the most out of the evolution lines.
Yep.
And my latest ones I've been doing just single evolution, base Pokemon only. So Pokemon that don't evolve. So currently I've got Dunsparce on hold at the moment. After I think it's about 500 eggs I'm up to at the moment, roughly. And there is one other hunt. It's a Regieleki. And oh boy, Regieleki. Regieleki is my first ever soft reset / hard reset Pokemon hunt that I'm doing. So
yeah,
I am learning the hard way.
Yeah, she's not forgiving, is it?
No, I don't know what the odds. I think was it 1%, 2% or something for a Regieleki. I don't know what it is. I don't know how it works with a static encounter because it'd
be like 1 in 4,000 and something.
Yeah, okay.
A bit less if that you have the shiny charm. I've forgotten sort of the odds. It's been a little bit since I've been into really like crunching the numbers to see how long it's going to take me. But at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter, does it? It just depends on the luck. Yeah.
And your saneness, that you stay sane, don't go crazy, stay focused, keep hydrating.
Keep hydrating. You're just like they're sweating, just like hatching eggs. Come
Where
on.
is it?
Just hatch, man. So do you have any like favorite shinies?
I mean, it probably sticks with the fact that the same favorite Pokemon are my favorite shinies, but I guess that only stays with Joltik. Because the fact is, when you shiny hunt, you kind of appreciate the shinies more because we know through Pokemon's days, they have got some ultra disgusting shinies. And it's kind of like, why did they do that when they could have done this? This would have made more sense if you did that. But
Yeah.
I think when you shiny hunt, you learn to appreciate what they are, which I think is most important thing.
What about Blissey? Do you appreciate Blissey's shiny? But it's just like
Blissey.
it's like barely a different color. Do you appreciate that? If you're going for that,
slightly pink, white maybe.
It's like
white?
a little bit paler.
A little bit white.
Like
pale,
barely.
Yeah. No, that Blissey. We don't talk about Blissey.
No.
It's part of the Karen line. We don't talk about it.
The Karen line.
But yeah, I don't know. Like Emolga is one, for example, I've got. Emolga, for those who don't know, is just slightly. So obviously the original colors of Emolga, it's yellow with like a what would it be? Not a copper, but a copper, not copper, coal, like a coal color. But the shiny of it is just slightly tinted white over it. But it kind of looks nice. So even though there's not much changes, they're ones that you can appreciate at least because like it's the shiny. I'm happy that I've got it, and yeah, I'm glad that's what it is. Because sure, it could look something else which could be better, but like no, I think I like this. Even though it could be better, but
yeah, it's similar to like I guess the design of the Pokemon as well, where we were
exactly.
talking earlier how we don't like a lot of them, but then it's like, oh well, it's actually grown on me a bit, so it's probably a similar thing.
I accidentally came across a shiny Trubbish in Sword Shield.
Oh, cool, yeah.
Complete accident, and I'm like, oh, it's blue. I'm like, oh, I kind of like blue because blue is one of my favorite colors. So I'm like, okay, I guess I'm okay with this.
Yeah, Trubbish is actually a pretty nice shiny.
Yeah, Garbodor's not so much, but because like Trubbish is that darker blue, but when it comes to Garbodor, that darker blue becomes like a sea sky blue kind of thing.
Yeah, it just like bursts open with trash. Like, oh.
Yeah, it kind of loses its like Garbodor back in the Gen 5 games. Like you remember the sprites? Garbodor used to look mean and everything, but like the shiny Garbodor, it's kind of like you just look like a softy, big softy or whatever.
It probably is. I feel like probably is a big softy.
I mean, shiny Delmice. Now that is a shiny. You have the original bluish green with a brown anchor. In the shiny form, it goes white and red, and the anchor is red, and it's so good.
Yeah, looks nice. I do like the shinies that like I feel that actually look like they've been thought about, and they're actually like fairly different. Personally, one of my favorite shinies is Porygon in the Porygon line. Just because it's like white and blue, and it just looks really nice, like completely different. Yeah, it's simple as well. Like, obviously, Porygon is literally like a polygon, so there's not too many textures or anything to change on him. But yeah, no, I really like that one. And another one I really like as well is Latias. Just like I remember looking at the sprite, not so much the 3D models. I feel like a bit of the golden color has been lost a bit. But back in the days when it was sprites, when she was like the red was like a bright gold, I thought it just looked absolutely stunning. And especially the elusive idea that if you finish Ruby or Sapphire, you get to the end and you are lucky enough to get that shiny because obviously Latias is a roaming Pokemon. So you've got the one time for it to sort of generate once you've beaten the game, and that's the one chance you've got at as being a shiny.
That's crazy. Because I got a friend in my Discord who is doing that at the moment, and people were saying to him, "Oh, did you save it the TV or something?"
Yeah,
I don't think he did. So he's gonna have trouble trying to do that. I think.
Yeah. So if he's resetting and he's saved after, he's just resetting the exact same Pokemon.
Way. Yeah.
I actually don't know when you've got to save. I don't know if it.
All I know is that the TV. I think it must be after the credits or something.
Because when you beat the Pokemon League and it saves, I think you can't save after that. I'm not exactly sure. I've never tried to hunt it because I'm not a madman. Because that's a 1 in 8,000 chance with no shiny charm or anything back in 2003. So
also a shiny madman would go after shiny Zapdos because that thing's no different.
Yeah, it's a bit of a letdown. But shiny Galarian Zapdos is actually pretty cool. Like retaining the original colors.
Those shinies I can get around, even though they're shiny locked. I can get around them.
Yeah, shiny. Yeah. That does suck. That's another thing as well. Shiny locking. As a shiny hunter, how do you feel about them?
I mean, I guess they kind of have to, don't they? Because but I mean,
they don't really, but they
they don't really.
they really just don't want people playing their game by going to the home menu, resetting it, going back into it. That's pretty much what it is. But
Yeah.
there are mechanics to sort of work around that, like Reggie Alecki and Reggie Draco in the games where you can just run away, reset the puzzle, do it again. So there are methods of actually allowing people to shiny hunt them, but the Pokemon that are in cutscenes, like the starters and the birds and all that.
Zamazenta as well. So that's another thing I want to touch on quickly too. Ever since Gen 6, Gen 5, there's been a lot of Z Pokemon. Have you noticed that too? There's a lot of Pokemon that start with Z. Zeraora, Zamazenta, Zacian. There's a few others that I can't forget on the top of my head, but I've noticed there's a lot of Z Pokemon. Oh, Zeraora and that other one.
Zekrom?
Zekrom's
one, I guess, yeah. I think, I guess I never really thought about it. Maybe they're just sort of thinking like, we've ignored Z for a fair few years. So we better...
It's 26 letters off the alphabet. Z. Oh, Z!
I guess it is a way to sort of make them sound a bit more unique, having a completely different sound to it.
There is a thing though, right? So the reasons why they called that is if you look at the shinies correlate their name because Zamazenta, I think it's meant to be magenta, and the shiny of it is magenta looking. Same thing with Zacian. It looks cyan. So they've kind of played with that. I don't think that was a purpose thing, but that's what people have noticed. So I don't know. Fun fact, if you care.
Yeah, if you look at your Pokedex in alphabetical order, you're like, oh, there actually are a few Z Pokemon. There you go.
Oh, and Zigzagoon. There's another one, Zigzagoon. That's a Gen 3. That's Gen 3 or 2 or something, I think.
Yeah, Gen 3, yeah. I love Zigzagoon. I always had one at the start of the game, called it Ziggy. Went around the Hoenn region, always picked up my potions and stuff. Got some nuggets from him.
Oh, pickup. That's such a good ability. Because also, who was it? The fairy electric type also has it. Dedenne. Dedenne also has pickup.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And so that was good. Because I randomly found max potions. I'm like, how do I keep getting them? And then I realized Dedenne has the ability pickup. So I'm like, oh, okay.
Excellent. Thank you, little rat.
My precious little rat.
Yeah. So, it's like you just keep on going and picking them up. It's like,
yeah.
All right. Pick me
up a Master Ball. Pick me up a Master Ball, and then we'll call it a deal.
It's like, maybe I will get me to level 100, you bloody bastard.
Fine, I'll give you all the XL candy that you need.
So
whatever it takes.
This year we are expecting remakes of the Generation 4 games, Diamond and Pearl. When people listen to this, it very well might be announced. Who knows? We're sort of expecting it, but regardless if it happens in 2021 or 2030, who knows? But
hopefully not by 2030.
being some of your favorite games in the series, what would you like to see these remakes do to the originals and build upon them?
I feel like they should basically. I want them to like maintain everything that was had in the Gen 4 original games. So you remember the underground section where you go under your mine and everything? I kind of want that. I kind of just everything they had in the game. Just keep it simple, keep it the same. Except the only thing I kind of was liking, just give the models a really like do them justice. Don't change too much. Because like the thing, I remember keep seeing a meme on Twitter. People were like, the Garantina's World back then, and it's like a big massive maze, and Garantina's World now, it's just a simple straight up down path. It's kind of like don't make it too easy because otherwise it's kind of lose the fun and lose the feeling. But yeah. Basically just keep it the same because like nothing was wrong with. Hello, my friend. Nothing was wrong game back then, and don't change anything. Keep the seals. Remember when you used to be able to customize Pokeballs?
Yeah, that was sick. So that is definitely a feature I want to see come back.
Keep them. That'd be so much fun. I'm surprised they actually keep them after that game because, like,
that
was so much fun. And correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't like Gen 4 also the introduction of the beauty contests and all that?
No, that was the beauty contests. No, that was the contests were introduced in Gen 3. They were Gen 3, okay. They were a bit different. back then. They obviously built upon them, and they added like clothes and a bit more.
Yes.
Honestly, a
Yeah.
bit more fluff to the Gen
Yeah.
4 ones. Like I didn't get into them so much in Gen 4 because it was like dressing up, and I'm like, you know what, I'm not really into this. But in Gen 3, there was a lot more. It was like a completely different set of mechanics to the moves. So you could train a Pokemon for being like in a cool contest or a beauty contest or
That's right, yeah.
smart contest, and each move had a different meaning. But what sort of, I guess, made it so that mechanic was a bit more redundant is if you want to progress through the game, you've got to be a battler and you need to actually beat gyms. And you're not necessarily going to be able to beat gyms if you've got a contest move set, because they're just completely different.
Not going to do anything.
So like, I always thought like, how cool would it be if like you get to a town and there's a gym or there's like a contest hall and you can progress through the game, like, either way. And
one thing I want to say actually, now I don't know if you remember this too much, but in Gen 4, you had to get a Bidoof, you teach it all the HMs.
Oh, yes.
Now, can we just get the HMs straight at the back? Because I remember you getting wall climb. No, was it rock wall climb or something like that?
Rock climb, I believe it was.
Yeah, that was the worst thing to do because like
it was.
you're so close to the destination. You're like, no, you got to learn rock climb to get to the other side. I'm like, come on.
Because Mount Coronet in that game was just infamous for like, all right, you need 2 Pokemon in your team dedicated to HMs.
Yeah, strength and also rock wall climb. Yeah,
you need like surf, waterfall. Like it was just like ridiculous amount of stuff.
Actually, no, fly wasn't needed there. Only if you're stuck.
You don't need it, but you want it because it's annoying if you don't. But that's the thing in Generation 8 now. Like, you've got all these mechanics sort of wrapped into like one. You don't need to teach them to your Pokemon. Yeah. So that is a problem that's probably going to be just resolved just being in the modern day, I guess, for the Pokemon series.
Just think about it now. Yeah, true. Just think about it. Like Mount Coronet would be amazing as as a wild area.
Yeah, and that'll be a good way to fix it as well. Because it's sort of in there, and when you get to that stage of the game, you're not looking forward to going up there to versus Team Galactic. You're like, all right, here we are. Guess I'm doing that. And like, honestly, when I'm thinking about replaying Platinum, I'm like, I quite like the start of it and the end of it, but there's a bit in the middle where it's like, all right, I've got to just stop doing what I'm doing to go and beat Team Galactic. And I know, like in Pokemon games, that's not exclusive to Gen 4. That's a lot of Pokemon games where it's like, all right, I guess I'm stopping doing what I'm enjoying to beat the bad guy. That's just really uninspired.
Yeah. I think the problem is also the story was a bit like you're always stopping to do something else to do the story, which is what you just said. But if they keep this storyline smooth, try not to have too much interruptions. But yeah, I think because like I'm thinking, where else would it be a good wild area? Mount Coronet, obviously.
I guess you got like the islands, like the post game islands. You could potentially have like a bit of an area.
Isle of Armor. That was the Isle of Armor. Maybe that's the one.
Yeah, they'll sell it to us. Yeah, afterwards.
They call it Isle of Sinnoh or something weird.
And like the remakes for Ruby and Sapphire, Omega Ruby, Alpha Sapphire, they sort of changed the story to fit in Mega Evolutions and all that stuff that was introduced in Gen 6. How do you feel about sort of Dynamax and that mechanic coming into these games and sort of, I guess, changing the story a little bit to sort of make this stuff fit? Because I think that's probably what's going to happen.
What was the game that had the introduction, had the red beam in the background? Because I remember watching a YouTube video about how that correlated to what was happening with the Dynamax, but I don't think it was just a wild link, but there was something like that. I don't know how I feel about Dynamax because, like, Gen 4 obviously didn't have Megas or anything like that. I don't know. I feel keep it simple, like I just said before. Don't worry about including things that are from other games. Because if you look at Gen 8 Sword Shield, they don't have Megas. So I feel like if they're going to do Gen 4 remake, they might as well just keep it simple.
Yeah.
Unless... you know what they could do actually, now I think about it, they could introduce new Megas for Pokemon back and then. So like imagine like a Mega Luxray or Mega Torterra. Actually, that would be cool. Mega Torterra. Can we have that please?
That'd be
Can we
sick.
have that please?
Even
please,
like
Nintendo?
even in the same vein for Dynamax, like a Dynamax Torterra.
Gigantamax Torterra.
Yeah, of course, Gigantamax. I get sort of mixed up between Dynamax, Gigantamax.
Yeah, because Dynamax is just like, oh, you're just big, but you're normal. But Gigantamax, oh, hello.
Yeah, it'd be like Snorlax, but standing up.
Actually, what's your opinion on Gigantamax Snorlax? I feel it's kind of like, okay, where the heck did that tree come from? But I think now I actually think about it, I think he likes to eat seeds or something. So maybe
No, I think the idea is just he's been asleep so long. He's just like grown moss, and the moss has grown a bush, and a tree's come. I think that's just. Or maybe he was under the ground and he Gigantamaxed him. I don't know. I don't really think about it too much.
Yeah. Actually, now I'm quickly thinking about it. Back to the shinies and Dynamax. Shiny G-Max Duraludon. I mean, its regular shiny isn't much different. Its eyes go from a yellow to an orange. But when it's in Gigantamax, the glass thing that has at the bottom changes significantly. So yeah, that's just one. I just wanted to say that. I was just kind of like, oh, that's kind of a cool thing that they made that more different than the regular form. But yeah. Gigantamax Gen 4 Pokemon, that would be cool, I reckon.
I think it would be too, because I think back to Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, and like it was cool. Obviously, they had to put the Mega Evolutions in there. That was the big gimmick, and everyone loved it at the time too. So it's like if they didn't have it, that would have been really weird. But what I didn't necessarily like, and it was kind of cool at the time, but what I didn't really like about it is that like they had to literally to make it make sense in like the storyline of Pokemon.
Yeah.
Is that they had like split it off into a different dimension, and it's a different timeline to the original games. And this is the timeline with like the Mega Evolutions, and this stuff didn't really happen, and this stuff did happen here. And I was like, what the hell is going on? All I wanted was a remake, really, of like one of my favorite games from my childhood, and they sort of didn't put in, like the Battle Frontier and the stuff that made that generation like really pop.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I guess just thinking about now. I'm just thinking about now because now you talk about Ruby Sapphire. Imagine if they gave Dialga and Polka and even Garatina or even Arceus kind of like another form, like how you had the primal Groudon and all that. Imagine they did that. I mean, maybe it doesn't make sense for Dialga and Polka because they had time and space, but maybe Garatina.
Yeah,
again, Arceus or Arceus or Arceus. How do you say it?
I'll say Arceus. Yeah.
Yeah. See, I say that too, but everyone's like, "Oh, you're saying it wrong." I'm like, "Okay, cool. Don't attack me."
Yeah, there's a few names like when you're a kid, you might read it wrong, or a friend of yours might say it wrong, and you grow up for like 15 years you've been calling it one thing. I remember I was watching a streamer, and they call I say Arcanine for the fire dog from Generation 1.
Yeah,
and
Arcanine.
And other people say Arcanine. I'm like, is it that? Because that makes sense, because it's a dog. And looking at the spelling, you're like, it does fit. But it's like, no, in the anime, they called it Arcanine. So I'm like, did they? I actually don't know.
Probably the anime is the closest thing we got to know the truth. So whatever they say is the truth.
Yeah, I guess. Like, you know what? These voice actors, they read it right. Then stupid kid me.
Yeah.
Even now, I feel dyslexic most of the time, so it just.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, it's only getting worse from now on for you. Don't worry, it's all downhill.
Oh, good.
Because I mean, I'm in Victoria, right? In Victoria, they have trouble saying AL. It's L. They say L for some reason. Okay. So, like one of the major hospitals. This is going for a wild tangent, but anyway,
I love it.
Major hospital in Melbourne is called the Alfred Hospital.
Yeah.
But they say, "Oh, I'm going to the Alfred Hospital." What? There's no E at the start, mate. There's A. And skill. They go to skill. They go to school. They go to skill.
Skill. Scowl.
Not so much that, anyway.
Jesus. Yeah. That's the thing as well. It's like Pokemon. They're all made up names. It's like, it's fine.
Yep.
As long as
and some of the Japanese names, because when I post my shiny hunt, I put the Japanese names in for them.
Yeah.
And it's kind of interesting to see where they get the names from. So yeah.
Actually, I'm interested because I noticed you do that.
Yeah.
Is it just like a cool little formatting thing, or does it actually help like people from Japan like understand what you're saying and
I think it's
like a different audience?
At the same time, because some people in my community, in my Discord, they are learning Japanese, and so when I post it, some like, "Oh, that's what it's called," or they're like, "Oh, that's how you say it or spell it or whatever." Yeah. So
that's a cool thing you do.
Yeah. Thank you. Because it's good because on the Switch keyboard, there's the Japanese keyboard, so you can use the katana, and hana, and all that as well. So if you go when you're posting something on Twitter on your Switch, just go to your keyboards, go all the way down the bottom. Oh, actually, not all the way down the bottom. About 10 from the bottom. There's a Japanese section, and I actually know a little bit of Japanese, so that helps. What I know.
Yeah, definitely. Because like, I've never looked for it, to be honest. But if I had the Japanese keyboard up, I'd be like, Tap, 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 tap. Did I write something?
Actually, I want to give you a fun tidbit if I can find her in time. So I think it's Magma. Magma's Japanese name is literally Booby.
Oh,
I kid you not.
Booby. Why is it called? What? So,
If you look at the characters of its name,
does Booby mean the same thing in Japan? Is that
no,
like referring to a breast?
Clearly not. Let's search that now just to make sure I'm not wrong. But someone in my Discord told me this. Oh, sorry, Boober.
Boober. Oh yeah.
Boober.
Not Booby. Booby's a bit funnier.
I think it's the baby. Oh, I can't remember. But yeah, there's some interesting and like the Gen 1 birds, the electric bird, I forget, Zapdos is called Thunder. The Articuno is called Freezer. And Moltres is just called Flame.
Okay.
Which they say Flame because they don't say L. So yeah, Flame.
So that's the same word in Japanese actually used to describe a flame.
Yeah, I guess so. Or maybe they might say fire, but something else. And my favorite one is Drowsy. His name in Japanese is literally sleep.
Yeah.
Makes sense. He hypnotizes you and everything, so sleep.
Yeah, he puts you to sleep. His name is Sleep. Go to sleep.
He's just sleep. Yeah, but it's interesting to see some of the names. Like the Gen 1 Pokemon, the names are pretty basic. But now because they got all these other Pokemon, they kind of make up the names that go along. But and you can't tell with the English names as well, because for example, Pyukumuku is literally the same in Japanese as it is in English. It's the same. So yeah, you can sort of tell that they're starting to run out of Japanese names from. So, but yeah.
And especially as everything becomes more, I guess unionized towards like all the languages and that, like when they started including like Chinese as well in like both the different ways, and Japanese and English, and obviously all the European countries, like it becomes
Spanish and German.
Yep, it becomes a lot to sort of starting to translate all those names.
I think some of the European language actually share the same name for some of them. They're just slightly different spelling variations.
Yeah, which is it's a pretty easy thing to do, I guess, when you all share the same alphabet. Yeah, to some extent. Yeah. Yeah. So I guess to start wrapping this up, were you sort of into like Pokemon Go that much? Like, what's your history with Pokemon Go?
Day one, man. Day one. I was up there walking.
Like, been smashing it since 2016?
Yeah, I had a bit of a quiet period just recently because I've been trying to on Sword Shield, obviously. So it's kind of like Pokemon Go on the back burner for now.
Yeah.
Because Pokemon Sword Shield exists. But the sad part is I just missed out on Genesect. So Genesect had a Fire Disc variant come out recently in the Legendary Raids. So I just missed out on that. And because it's also, this is the only time you can get Shiny Genesect legitimate is in Pokemon Go at the moment. I think there was an event where you could pay for it, but other than that, this is the only way you can get Shiny Genesect in Pokemon Go. So I want to get raids for that so I can get Shiny, because it's obviously another bug.
Yeah. It'll be back eventually, don't worry.
Yeah, it'll be back. It's the Water Disc, Psychic Disc, and all the other discs that it comes with. So
yeah.
Yeah. Actually, do you have it? I should add you.
Like on Pokemon Go? Yeah, of course, yeah. Yeah, I'll send you.
You use it a lot too.
Yeah, because like the thing with me, obviously, I was right into it 2016 when it came out, like the rest of the world, and it was just like it was such a big phenomenon which I was not expecting. All it was at the time, like Pokemon Go, it's coming into beta. You can access it through the Apple Store and the Google Store. I'm like, oh cool, I'll give it a download because I'm a big Pokemon fan. I'm keen to see what this new thing's all about. I downloaded it and I chose my starter and whatever. Then I like
you choose.
Charmander, I assume. I actually can't remember. Yeah. I assume I chose Charmander.
I did.
But just like how everyone else in like my friend group and my soccer club and not school, I wasn't at school at the time, but just like people that I would expect never to touch Pokemon, Nintendo, etc., were all playing it. Like I didn't know anyone that wasn't playing it except for like maybe my parents who didn't have like a capable smartphone or whatever. But just everyone was playing it. But sort of, I'm in rural South Australia, and my town it was not fun to play the game. There was just not enough.
No one else plays it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, not many people played it, and there weren't any Pokestops or anything, so it was like whatever. And it wasn't until I went to Melbourne, probably might have been
Is that 2 years ago?
Yeah, it's 2 years ago. I was in Melbourne, and Bryce and I.
PAX. You were at PAX, I reckon. I saw you there.
Yeah. So we said, oh, you know what? We're in Melbourne, so we got our phones out and we started playing Pokemon Go, spinning some stops. And it sort of like planted the seed. And when I got home, I kept on playing it, and found a bit of a community, and yeah, just really ended up falling in love with it. And now it's it's somewhat of an addiction. Wake up and like got to get my chains like for catching, going through Pokestops. And what I really like about it too is just like the constant rotation of events. There's always something happening, and that's something we don't have in the just the RPG games. You play through them, and a lot of the time there's not too much afterwards. But now with the DLC, obviously that's a little bit different. We had 2 hits of big content drops, but now we're on a sort of a lull again. But at Pokemon Go at the moment, at the time of recording, we've got a celebration event each week for all the different regions leading up to Kanto, which is a ticketed event. But I think most of the time the ticket prices are worth the price of admission, except for some in the past where it's been like there's
Mr. Mime.
Yeah, there's like Mr. Rhyme event. It's like you got Mr. Rhyme.
No.
Yeah, you got a Mr. Rhyme and you got a sort of a pose for your character, and that was like $12. I'm like, absolutely not. But
no, thank you.
But a lot of the time it works out to be a lot of fun, and there's always a community around rating in that. And no, I've just been really enjoying it, and I think there's actually a fair bit from Pokemon Go and what Niantic's done that I'd like to see implemented into the main series. Just like stuff always happening. And with Sword and Shield, we sort of saw that happening with the Gigantamax forms rotating. But, that only lasts so long with the rotations have gone through, and the hardcore players have already sat down and caught them all. And apart from this Magikarp, for example, has got a boosted shiny rate in raid dens, or we're introducing Mewtwo, and the drops from that are really good. There hasn't been all that much in the last year or so as far as that type of content goes. But yeah, I'm really enjoying Pokemon Go, and it sounds like you never sort of got off the hype train there. You've been walking around, burning calories, throwing balls.
It doesn't show now, but I used to walk a lot. Don't walk much now, but yeah.
I can only see you in the webcam. But I assume I can assume your legs are just ripped underneath.
We'll go with that. Yeah, let's get ripped. Yeah, big. Yeah, ripped,
they're tree trunk legs.
Every day is leg day. Yes. Yeah. Actually, one thing I would say about Pokemon Go, you sort of touched on it there, but I feel like the idea of Dynamax raids was brought from the Pokemon Go raids, like. Because you're playing with other people to defeat one boss, and then you catch it after. I feel like that was sort of like
apparently when they developed at the same time, like with an interview with Amori back when Sword and Shield were coming out. That was people asking that question because there's obviously like huge similarities between them because you look at them on different screens. You're like, yeah, there's a big Pokemon, there's a big Pokemon, and according to them, they'll develop simultaneously, but. It's a little bit hard to believe, I guess, because Pokemon Go came out 2016, and that is the same year Sun and Moon came out. So it's like, obviously these games are in pre-production years before they come out. But yeah, I guess it's an interesting fact. We've got to believe him, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
Take his word for it.
Have you got the level 40 yet?
So I have not. I'm on the road. I'm almost about to crack level 39. So I'm getting there. So by the end of the month, I should be on the road to level 40. Get that last 5 million XP, and that's the thing.
You get to level 50.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. I'm actually kind of annoyed that they introduced level 50 because I'm like, I'm not. Because it's a serious grind. Pokemon Go is a massive grind for that XP. So
it's not that straightforward.
Yeah. So what level are you? Are you trying to aim for level 50, or are you just like level 40? That's fine.
Level 40 is fine for now.
Yeah.
I got to I'm up to because to get to level 41, you have to do 3 tasks.
Yeah.
And one of them is you got to battle 30 raids. So I've only done like 3.
Yeah.
But so the problem is also another thing is that I'm living in a new estate. And so when I moved here, there was nothing on my Pokemon Go map. So I had to wait till the parks were built. And then what I did was you can nominate Pokestops when you reach level 40.
Yeah.
So I nominated Pokestops. And I remember the first batch, there was 2 of them were approved, which was great. And then I remember a couple of days later, another 3 were approved. And then I remember waking up the next morning. I'm like, oh, 2 of them are now gyms.
Oh,
Perfect.
Cool. Yeah.
The only problem was there were no spawns there. So I'm kind of like, well, this kind of sucks. I mean, there's stops there. But as I found out, you had to activate them commonly every day so that they would eventually be like, oh, someone's playing there. We should give them spawns.
Okay. Yep. There you go.
And then it's gotten to a point now that I'm actually now getting house spawns. So I'm like, I don't have to leave my house anymore.
Yeah. Because I'm starting to get like a decent amount of house spawns as well. And is that just true? Just like, all right, there's someone playing there a fair bit. So
I think that's what it is.
Is that what that is?
Because one of my favorite YouTubers I watch, Pro Planty, which I think you may or may know him. He's in Adelaide, and he had a thing, same thing. He had Pokemon randomly out of nowhere spawn in his place. So yeah, they must have realized, oh, okay, someone's playing in this area. Let's give us a few house spawns. And yeah, it's been really good. So thank you, Niantic, for acknowledging that we are out here in the middle of nowhere. Well, not really, but yeah, you give us house spawns. It's great.
Yeah, it's like over 2020, obviously with the pandemic and sort of the changes they made, so it is a lot more friendly to staying at home and doing remote raids.
Are a blessing.
Oh, yes. They are, aren't they? They're just because like the idea of like, all right, 7 o'clock. I don't want to get in my car and drive up the street to sit there and tap my phone. Like, you know, it's good in premise if you've got like a group of people. Oh, let's go out, yeah. But most of the time, it's like, all right, you know, I want to go and get the ground on. But I don't want to get in my car and go up the street and explain to my partner, hey, I'm going to be a little, it's an awkward time to go out. I know we're about to have tea, but I really want the shiny ground on. Then, you know.
I don't. Look, I know it's really time to go to bed, but I must go get this flag on.
And you get back, he's like, did you get the shiny ground on? And it's like, no, I didn't. Sorry. And she looks at you with just disappointment. It's like, Drew, you're a Pokemon master. You can't even find a shiny legendary Pokemon. You were nothing to me. But now remote raids, you can do it at home. You don't have to worry about that. Fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good. There's even like the thing is with Pokemon Go, there's so much stuff being built around it. Like people have created Sylph Road, which is the people like put their data into it and people find like, okay, there's Pokemon spawning here, there's nests there, there's communities here, there's communities there. It's being amazing how much it's been able to, people have been able to create communities and stuff like that. And like, yeah, it's been like, I think what Pokemon Go, what Niantic wanted to do was create communities and make everyone play along with each other. And it's really been good for them. Like, it's really worked. Like, I mean, for me, my next door neighbor, right, plays Pokemon Go as well.
Okay,
so
cool, yeah.
Every now and then I'll see and I'm like, oh, you got any shinies lately? And we're like, yeah or no. And we talk about what we caught recently. And yeah, it's cool. It's really good.
Yeah. With the sort of people you interact with and, you know, do raiding with and that, do you sort of like, you know, get out and talk to them? Or is it just like, all right, I'm going to stay in my car and...
Yes and no. The latter definitely has happened recently.
Yeah,
well, like I used to be in a Facebook group and people were like, oh, we'll meet you at this time at this place. I'm like, okay. I didn't know anyone, so I drove there, parked my car, played it, did it, and went off.
Yeah, I feel like that, and this is an excuse because of the pandemic. This was before the pandemic. Like we've got like a Facebook group chat. And it's like, all right, let's go to, you know, this place where the gym is, and we'll do a raid. All right, see you there. We'll park there, stay in the car. And when I was sort of more new to it, I was like, you know what, this is a great time to meet fellow Pokemon fans and interact and like actually make some friends, because that's the magic of this game. It's going to be fantastic. But it turned out it's like a lot of people that, you know, are very antisocial. They don't want to talk to you. They've got like their group of like 4 people. They don't want to talk to you. It's like, all right, so yeah.
They're not really gamers. They're just, you know.
Yeah. And that's the thing too. I a lot of the people I was talking to, I don't know if they, you know, necessarily into like the anime, the trading cards, the video games. They play Pokemon Go and that's their thing. And through that, you know, they've got a completely different audience, which is it's a bit mind-boggling to me because, you know, I'm such a super fan and I'm somewhat obsessed with the thing where it's just like, you know, I'm sending my shiny to Pokemon home, putting them to Sword and Shield. I'm like, are you doing that?
Yes and no. I'm sending some, but not all of them. Because I feel like some shinies can be valued more in Go than home or Sword Shield, because you can actually still use them in Go. But yeah, like I feel like now that, because you know how we have the community days in Pokemon Go, I feel like some shinies are being devalued a bit because like they're so common now.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I mean, at the same time though, it's to help attract more players to keep playing, like to keep them going. Because like, oh, shiny, this is available now. Like for example, recently they did shiny Machop,
Yep.
and I didn't bother because I'm
You
like, I've already got shiny Machamp from ages ago, from when it was first available.
I
shiny.
smashed Machop hard. I got 39,
Yeah,
39 of them. No, sorry, not 39, 29. I got 29.
Oh, I was gonna say 39. I didn't. I remember reading it. I was like, it wasn't that many. I know it was a lot, but it wasn't.
Yeah, no, 29.
Yeah.
Sorry, yeah, but yeah,
I got too many. I got too many Porygon. Porygon was like, sorry, Porygon. I got too many of them.
Yeah, see,
I was kind of like, what do I do with too many of them?
I smashed there because, like I said before, I love shiny Porygon. So I'm like, yes, there's a lot.
Them all.
Yeah, yeah. What was I gonna say? I was gonna say something. Like the community days. Like, yes, they do devalue like shinies. Obviously, shiny Machop to me is now it's just like, well, I've got plenty of them. I don't have to worry about it, and so do plenty of other people to trade and that and whatever. But at the same time, you've got to be pretty switched on to like actually catch the community days most of the time. So like a lot of people who are just playing Sword and Shield aren't necessarily like paying attention to the community days and going out and really trying to get them. So, you know, to maybe like the hardcore Go players, it definitely would. Like shiny Machop now isn't as exciting as getting a shiny Galarian Zigzagoon, for example.
Yeah.
But yeah, I still think there is value to them. And you know, it's just fun. It's just really fun. Like, yes, shiny galore. It's just really nice.
I feel like Niantic should focus now on like for shiny community days coming up. I feel like they should focus on Pokemon that you can't get in Sword and Shield at the moment, because the shiny Machop, that's another reason why I couldn't be bothered going for it, because like I've already got it in Go. I've already got it. You can get it in Let's Go. You can also get it in Sword and Shield. So what's the point of getting it in Go? Because I've already, yeah. Because I feel like a lot of the new starters we've got too, like there'll be community days for them eventually, which would be worth doing because you can't get them in Sword Shield at the moment. So yeah, like when shiny Fennekin or shiny the Gen 6 starters come around, I'll be onto them. But yeah, for now, I'm not really interested. Unless they bring out like, I don't know, what's one that hasn't been done yet that I'll be interested in? Something shiny bug. I don't know. But yeah. Shiny Cricket Tot's available. I know that. So
I got a shiny Nincada the other day, randomly in the morning. I thought that was cool. Nice gold color.
Yeah, it is. But then the shinies, Shedinja and Ninjas are a bit of a letdown.
Yeah. How does it work in Go getting a Shedinja, by the way? Does it just appear?
It just
appears. Yeah, cool.
It just So like it's kind of funny because like you remember in the mainland games you have to have a space available to evolve it and then you'll get it. But yeah, you evolve it and you'll just get a Shedinja.
Just go there.
And it was kind of funny because they made it a task reward as well that you get a Shedinja straight up.
Yeah, because I thought like before I caught this Shedinja, not Shedinja, sorry, the Nincada. I actually didn't have a Nincada, but I had a Shedinja through the research task.
Oh yeah.
So I'm like, that's weird.
Dex entrance.
Yeah, I just thought that was a bit weird. I'm like, how did I have this without actually having like the pre-evolution? So I've got it skinned, but I never actually got the bug.
Yeah. Actually, yeah, that's one of my longest hunts too. Actually, on Sword Shield, that was like 1,600 eggs for Ninjask. But it was kind of worth it because when you evolve it to Nincada, because when you evolve it to Ninjask and Shedinja, you essentially get two shinies from one. So
yeah, that's a good deal.
Worked out. Yeah, 2 for 1.
It's like going to McDonald's and they put in extra chips. You're like, oh fuck yeah, boys. Who's hungry? Got some more
extra chicken nugget.
Got some extra potato. Fantastic,
mate. Get up, yeah.
All right, so before we wrap it up, is there anything else you'd like to talk about or share?
Nothing really. I really hope for Gen 4 remakes. Pokemon Snap looks good. Not going to get it though, unless you can see shinies in it.
Yeah, so actually someone brought that up the other day. I'm like, now wouldn't that be fun?
That would be
if
fun.
they did introduce shinies.
But you can take a photo of it.
You take a photo of
it. Yeah.
Just think about how much more replayability that game would have. You're like, all right, so like there's this Paris in this one section, and I'm looking for a shiny one. So you go past it. Not shiny. Go past it. Ah, not shiny. Go past it. Ah, not shiny. 400 times. It's blue. Oh, fuck, that's cool.
It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be hard to find a shiny Blissey then, because like, which one's slightly pale and the others? Which one is it?
It's like, I think is that the rage weight tracing on Nintendo Switch, or is that a shiny? Can't quite see.
Oh, RTX on Pokemon Snap would be funny. It could probably be a thing, but who knows? It'd
probably be absolutely stunning. You could imagine it, couldn't you?
Yeah. Anything else to say? Follow me on twitch.tv/WackoJacko. The O on the end is actually the number 0 and an underscore. Similar to my Twitter, I guess. Follow me there. But yeah, if also actually. For those who are listening still, you want to be in the draw for a shiny Scyther? Okay, so quickly, I'm trying to hatch a shiny male Scyther, but hatch 3 female shinies instead. So if anyone wants a shiny Scyther, hit me up.
Done. Easy.
Yeah. If anyone wants a shiny Scyther, hit me up, and I can give you one.
You know what? I should just not post this episode, and I should just claim it right now.
They're all mine.
I don't have a shiny Scyther. Maybe I should try and claim one. You know.
Well, if you want one, you can have it because I've got 3 of them. I don't need 3 of them.
Look at this guy. Look at this shiny giver out here. Isn't he a nice man? Definitely worth.
That's the problem. That's the problem because with one of the phases, I got a double. So who wants one of them as well? You know, they're walking out the door, fire hot sale. You know.
Yeah, especially Scizor. Scizor is a nice shiny. Just being like green.
Oh, so good and green. It's kind of amazing though, because shiny Scyther, it's like, it's just got red limbs. But then when it evolves, it's like, oh, green. Yeah, it kind of makes sense. But yeah, it's very nice.
Yeah. Anyway, guys, so if you want someone to follow on Twitter to make you feel bad about not having shiny luck yourself, it's WackoJacko_.
Look, I'm sorry, right? It's my choice. It's what I've decided to do. If you feel sorry, if bad, I'm sorry. But yeah.
Yeah, because a few of my friends, like say in Pokemon Go, sometimes I just have great luck. And it's like, I posted like 4 shinies for the week or 5 shinies, whatever it is. But I'm like, you should follow WackoJacko. You should see the amount of stuff. Because I'm just like, all right, so this hunt was like over 1,000. And it's, here's another video. Oh, this was another hunt over 1,000. And this one's 500. Oh, that's a nice.
Oh, man. It's not that easy. It looks easy, but it's not. I've lost so many years of my life. No, just kidding. I want to say one thing. On my Pokemon trainer card thing in Pokemon Sword Shield, it says I've got 246 shiny Pokemon, I think. So, yeah, I've got a few.
Got a couple.
That's my word. I've just got a few, here, there.
You've got a fourth of all the Pokemon in shiny.
Oh, yeah, true, eh? Living Dex might not be too bad after all. No. I'll be here forever.
You will be.
No, thank you. If Pheromosa or Regieleki anything to go by, no thanks.
Yeah.
Nah.
All right, guys. Thank you very much for listening. WackoJacko, thank you very much for coming on. Really appreciate it, man. This has been great.
No, thank you for inviting me. I was totally honored and flattered that you invited me. I'm like, I want to be on the show. And yeah, I was so excited.
All right, so the doors to the House of Mario are closed. Catch you later.